Well, good evening once again. Day 1400 of the Trump administration, 62 days now until the inauguration. It's been 16 days since the presidential election, 12 days since the race was called for President-elect Joe Biden. As the incumbent president escalates his campaign to overturn the results of the election, there is new confirmation tonight of Biden's victory in an important state. Tonight, Georgia released the results of its six-day hand recount of the state's 5 million presidential votes, and Biden remains the winner in Georgia. State has until Friday to certify the results, though by law, the Trump campaign can still request another recount. Trump's effort to subvert the election results has taken on a new and more dangerous and ominous turn. As the Washington Post puts it tonight, quote, the president is now trying to remain in power with a wholesale assault on the integrity of the vote. That gets us to today, and today may be remembered when all the craziness is over for one thing, and it's this visual. Rudy Giuliani's hair dye started dripping down his face after an outbreak of flop sweat during a press conference which will only be remembered for conspiracy theories and dark liquid. It was rambling, repugnant, reprehensible, hysterical. And as the man just fired by Trump for protecting the security of our election said on Twitter today, it was the most dangerous 1 hour, 45 minutes of television in American history. Indeed, the dark seepage almost overshadowed what we heard at that press conference with the last lawyers left in America willing to defend the president.
Joe Biden is in the lead because of the fraudulent ballots, the illegal ballots that were produced and that were allowed to be used after the election was over. Give us an opportunity to prove it in court, and we will. You couldn't possibly believe that the company counting our vote, with control over our vote, is owned by two Venezuelans who were allies of Chavez, are present allies of Maduro, with a company whose chairman is a close associate and business partner of George Soros, the biggest donor to the Democrat Party, the biggest donor to Antifa, and the biggest donor to Black Lives Matter. I know crimes. I can smell them.
Hope you followed that. There was also this when Giuliani tried to illustrate his debunked allegation that Republican election observers were too forced to stand too far from vote counters.
Did you all watch My Cousin Vinny? You know the movie? It's one of my favorite law movies because he comes from Brooklyn. And when the nice lady who said she saw, and then he says to her, how many fingers do I got up? And she says, 3. Well, she was too far away to see it was only 2. These people were further away than my cousin Vinny was from the witness. They couldn't see a thing.
Rudy Giuliani, the president's lawyer, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, that event was blessed by the Republican Party, was indeed held at their headquarters. Looking at these visuals, which again will, for right or wrong, tell the story of today when we look back either a week or a year or a decade from now. Think of the story of one Rudolph Giuliani. To this day, when you walk in to the Southern District of New York offices in Lower Manhattan, his portrait is on the wall as a famous former U.S. attorney. Of course, we all know about his years as mayor of New York City, being dubbed America's mayor. And now this spectacle, this visual today, who close to the president is able to tell him how bad this looks?
Well, the answer is just about no one. I mean, first, Giuliani, you sort of mentioned his evolution, so to speak, and it does support the adage that everyone who enters, or just about everyone who enters this president's orbit, emerges tarnished in some way. But in this case, the Giuliani-Trump pairing, it's much more of sort of a mutual enabling society. And if you look at that press conference today, it sort of helps you understand why the president is behaving as he is. He wasn't actually behaving this way right after Election Day. He was still certainly lying about the vote, sowing distrust, but privately, people said he seemed deflated, but sort of philosophically understanding he had lost. But then when you look at the fact that Giuliani has taken the lead on his legal team, is the lead on his public relations team, if it can be called that, and is out there, this is what the president is hearing. This is a president who, as someone very close to him told me, cannot quite come to grips with having fairly lost the election to Joe Biden, which again is what happened. And so when someone like Giuliani, all that stuff he said publicly, that's the exact sort of stuff he is saying privately to the president. He's ginning him up. This is a president who is already prone to conspiracy theories in the best possible of worlds. It's what he wants to hear. And that's why you're seeing these two men relying so heavily on one another.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.